So, um, I missed yesterday. Apologies for that. But today, so I read this story earlier today, and I gotta tell you, it confirms some of the stuff I think, but I didn't expect it to confirm it like this well. Because basically, what it says is that, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. Like I fucking This is easy content for me today, but I wanted to read it, make sure it was sound. CIA files, and this is from BuzzFeed, so you know they're not telling you the whole story. CIA files say staffers committed sex crimes involving children. They weren't prosecuted. Declassified CIA Inspector General reports show a pattern of abuse and a repeated decision by federal prosecutors not to hold agency personnel accountable. So, over the past 14 years, the CIA has secretly amassed credible evidence that at least 10 of its employees and contractors committed sexual crimes involving children. Though most of these cases were referred to U.S. attorneys for prosecution, only one of the individuals was ever charged with a crime. Prosecutors sent the rest of the cases back to the CIA to handle internally, meaning few faced any consequences beyond the possible loss of their jobs and security clearance. That marks a striking blah blah blah. Um, and here's the real shit here. CIA insiders say the agency resists prosecution of its staff for fear the cases will reveal state secrets. That should tell you everything right there. If the government is not willing to investigate the government because it's not willing to reveal the secrets of the government, then maybe it's because the government is a fundamentally corrupt one. And maybe they don't want you to know just how deep it goes and just how prevalent these problems are. Maybe that's it, right? Nah, it has to be to protect America or, terrorism or something. Uh, the revelations are contained in hundreds of internal agency reports. Hundreds of internal agency reports obtained by BuzzFeed News through Freedom of Information Act lawsuits. One employee had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was fired. Isn't that nice? So, he was fired? That's awesome. It's really nice that he was fired. He no longer has that job. But since he was never prosecuted, since he was never charged, he's not on the registry. He can still work anywhere he wants. He doesn't even have to divulge it to anybody that he lives in their neighborhood. Because he used to be a CIA worker. And that means that he gets to get away with all of this and you don't even get to know you're living next door to somebody like that. Not the only one either. A second employee purchased 3 sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. Their mothers sold these CIA officer videos of their own daughters. If that's not like automatically going to put anything on the record books for fastest way to make anybody lose their faith in humanity, I don't know what the fuck would be. Because I can't experiment. I've already given up. I have zero faith in humanity and haven't for over a decade. But this would make it real easy to give it up if I had any, right? He resigned. He didn't even get fired. So the other guy got fired. He could probably collect unemployment for the consequences of diddling a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. Because they're not going to divulge secrets to unemployment, are they? A third employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. 1,400 images. 1,400 child porn images. He viewed 1,400 child porn images, and the records do not say what action, if any, the CIA took against him. A contractor who arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent posing as a child had his contract revoked. Oh, just really warms your heart. They got rid of his contract. Did they do anything else? Oh, no. But they got rid of the contract, and ain't that just like as much as you can expect? Oh, bless his heart. You see where this is going? Only one of the individuals cited in these documents was charged with a crime. In that case, in the only previously known case of a CIA staffer being charged with child sexual crimes, the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. So the CIA didn't care about the 1,400 images of child abuse, of the hundreds of potentially abused children. Probably the same one over and over for a lot of them, because a lot of these people develop their own niches. That didn't matter. The 2-year-old and the 6-year-old, that didn't matter. The little girls whose mothers took sexual advantage of them. The guy who arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. The only people, they all got just nope, just a slap on the wrist. But this guy, only one of the individuals. So this guy, he's the only one who got charged, and it's not even because of kids. It's because he mishandled materials. So I guess that really shows the line. The CIA thinks that their materials are more important than your children's lives. And there are still people who support this agency. There are still people who support these motherfuckers. There's still people out there who will see the ad where that chick was like, "Oh yeah, immigrants. I'm the daughter of immigrant family. Something racial pride and woman pride, and this makes me feel proud. You proud of yourself for being associated with these people? Really? I wouldn't be. In fact, if anybody should have a mass walkout, it's not Netflix, it's the CIA, but they won't because they're proud to be scum! And people wonder why I have an anger problem. Maybe because, I'm bombarded with shit like this all day. Maybe because I've got a long list of content coming along similar lines. Maybe because my news channel and my Discord server, DM for invite, is packed with corruption. Maybe because there's a battering ram of bullshit that is all totally fine with people. Not me, of course, but enough people that they've got enough support that they can continue to get away with this for millennia, no matter who it hurts, and no matter how many children are fucking scarred! Kinda puts a damper on the old mooter neuter. Huh? I wish I could have any other mindset about this, and still be right. But nope. The only rational response to this is rage. You know, people from the left love to bring up the Vatican as the example of like Catholic Church, etc. You know, priest rape boy, because it makes Christians mad when you do it, and it's not really about the children, right? Bill Maher gets to wax poetic about that, right? And then the right gets to take pot shots at LGBT and claim that because of a few members, uh, people who identify in that way, we get to jettison all of them because of those few members, until they're willing to, as though there's some sort of central leadership, call all those people out. Most of them do, and it's just a way for the right to act morally superior about their bullshit, vague "Make America Great Again" mentality, where they're not actually defining when America was great. And both of these groups do this while ignoring the biggest problems in the country, which is the fucking government. There's a reason Epstein got away with it. And it's not because of his charm, his charisma, his amazing smile. It's not because of his money, even. It's because he acted as an arm of the U.S. government, making sure everybody stayed in line because we wouldn't want them secrets getting out. Just like the CIA is admitting to now. I don't need any proof other than that admittance that the U.S. government will hide abuse, torment, cruelty, anything they want, because they don't want their secrets getting out. And to be honest, you didn't need it. You didn't need it. You didn't need it after the fucking Chelsea Manning revelations. You didn't need it after Amnesty International showed footage of people being electrocuted under hoods while being forced to stand barefoot on milk crates. Or being mauled by dogs. Or being put in a big fucking pile. Huh? Soldiers posing with the dead, just like, yeah, how kawaii, you're very cute. Make sure to get an esports division, you blood-sucking monsters. I can't emphasize it strongly enough that the US government's willing to go to whatever lengths necessary to excuse evil, because it would reveal their secrets not to keep it secret. Huh? Maybe that's because the US government keeps a lot of evil under wraps and operates on evil. Maybe the US government is evil. Maybe all government is evil. Maybe the concept of government is evil because it allows for things exactly like fucking this, and it always fucking has! Maybe that's the truth here, and maybe people should stop gilding the lily and sugarcoating it. And it's a package deal, make no mistake. If you support one of it, you have to support all of it, because it's eventually going to come down to this. Power corrupts, and it will always grow. The smallest states will turn into the biggest tyrannies because they can rely on the people who still have nationalistic, patriotic fervor for the old days to keep latched onto that as though there were a better time that we can go back to. That'll keep them invested in the program of whatever country it is. Or the progressives who think that, just with a little bit more government, we can get to the utopia we were promised by our liberal arts professors. But they're still on the same program. They're still operating for the same fascists. It's not the cathedral, it's fascism, and it always has been. The U.S. government is just following in exactly the footprints of the Mao regime, but they're doing it longer, The Mao regime, he was very clear he was going to use state capitalism to achieve his, basically dictatorship. And then maybe the people would be free afterward. But only after he got to be dictator. Only after state capitalism let him murder 50 million people. But the government would never murder anybody. The government would never behave unethically. The government never behaves unethically. They don't do that. It's classified. very under wraps. You don't get to know about it, so it doesn't happen, does it? Does it? But it does happen, and we all know it. And it's not okay to bring it up. Especially to friends and family, especially over family dinners, especially over the holidays. You're not allowed to bring it up at all. You know, that's the reason why my first TikTok video to generate any amount of controversy at all is one where I mocked a Christmas tree, a ridiculous, stupid Christmas tree in this mall that's in the city I live in. That's hollow on the inside and fake and fenced off. And there's cops everywhere around the outside of this place. There are multiple like banking high rises in this place. That's another TikTok I put out. You know, the biggest kings need the tallest castles, right? So that's what these banking complexes are. That they're castles. They're rulership enterprises. They're fucking hubs of authority. And there are cops trawling this area and cameras everywhere and free Wi-Fi. Hey, why don't you log on to that free Wi-Fi, which is literally called by the US government zones of opportunity, because they're literally using it to spy on you. To you know, the poor can get involved in the economy, right? The homeless can get a free phone so that they can access the free internet, so that they can be tracked universally, and so that their data can be sniffed when they're on that free internet. So that they can be numbers in the system too, so that they can be codified, so that everybody can be fucking cattle, even the people who can't even afford to feed at the trough. This country is fundamentally evil. And it should be no surprise to anyone who's been paying attention that the CIA is at the center of a lot of it. With their funding of what are now considered terror groups, with their mind control experiments, with their false flag operations, and their sponsorship of drug imports, so that they could then have a war on drugs domestically, especially targeting inner cities. Look into Freeway Rick Ross. It should be no surprise that they're at the center of a lot of this. It should be no surprise that they have zero interest in protecting you or your children or freedom or liberty or basic fucking decency. Because of course they fucking don't. Anyone with central in their name wants centralization. And centralization is the enemy of freedom. So it shouldn't be a fucking surprise. And it's not to me. Doesn't mean it doesn't make me angry. Doesn't mean it shouldn't make you angry. All this should make you angry. I want you to get mad. I want you to raise your fist at the system and scream, I'm a human being, goddammit. My life has value. I'm not going to take it anymore. None of your lockdowns, none of your fucking fascism disguised as medicine, none of your police state. There was a comment on my video about the tree claiming I was wrong about us living in a police state. Do you doubt it now? How much will it take for people to admit that this is tyranny and it's not acceptable? That this is the symptom of the root cause, which is the state. That culture is the driving factor, and that's why the state wants to control it. Because politics and culture are in an incestuous relationship right now, trying to control your mind. That's why Stephen Colbert still gets to have his show even though it's got declining numbers, because he parrots their lines and he gets a significant amount of normies to parrot the lines too. We need more laws, yeah. If these laws can't prosecute who we don't like, we need more laws. We should make more things illegal. We should get the police involved more. That won't hurt black people, right, Steven? Watch my other video on that I put up, I think, before this one, if you're interested. I just have so many problems with what people are willing to accept, and the fact that this story isn't trending right now. I get that people are pissed off that a cop kicked a puppy, right? I get that people watch H3H3 for some reason, even though it's painfully boring and they're not even interesting to look at. I, get that people want, to feel reified by all their normie bullshit, so they watch Philip DeFranco so that he can tell them that everything will be okay as long as you do what the government says. But nothing is going to be okay, and it's partially, if not majorly, because of the government. So let's not mince any words here and say that those people are fucking slime too, because they're contributing to this. The people who are making things like this buried. The people who don't want you to look into the Department of Homeland Security and its massive child porn problem, or the foster care system and its massive trafficking problem, or the public school system and its massive kid rape problem, especially the underreported problems in all of those categories where boys are supposed to get high fives instead of lawsuits. Because they got it from some hot woman. They were hot for teacher, right? Bro, that's awesome. You got laid? No, it's not awesome. He got raped, bro. Culture is fundamentally wicked and evil. Parroted by the puppeteers in mainstream media who are paid by billionaires and their statist fuck buddies to encourage this to be either ignored or accepted or both, depending on which group you're a member of. You don't have to accept it, but they want you to. And they'll force you to. And eventually, anybody who disagrees significantly with this and can connect the dots and prove that this is a symptom of a fundamentally corrupt model, those people will be censored under the guise of stopping disinformation or extremist content or something like that. Sort of like it's happened repeatedly. Sort of like people like me have been repeatedly deplatformed from multiple places. Jason Bassler at the Free Thought Project and Police the Police, the anti-media fucking activist post has, I think, seen some fallout in some areas. So many people have just been fucking silenced because they're not willing to toe the line. Other people have seen their audiences tank because Facebook applied a misinformation label. Because Facebook is puppeteered by the Atlantic Council, among many other people, and they get to decide. They're the ones who decide. They're the deciders. They decide things. That's how things get to be. And Facebook is heavily staffed by government agents, like ex-government agents, right? That's true. There's a government to Facebook pipeline, and part of the reason the Free Thought Project is constantly censored is they talk about it. And now Twitter, the CEO is stepped down, and the new guy has made it very clear that Twitter will not respect the First Amendment as a sort of backstop for speech policies on the platform. So if you want to say things that are First Amendment protected speech, that doesn't matter. The platform's going to arbitrarily censor whoever it wants, whoever thinks will keep its stock options up, and continually drive the platform's features into the ground, except for the extreme elite who have the latest iPhone, because it's all a walled garden. It's all a massive money-making machine, and that's the reason they don't want you to know about their evil, dirty secrets, because that money and profit and power might fucking stem. And we can't have that. And people wonder why I'm negative. Maybe because we live in a police state dystopian hellscape nightmare. And ultimately, most people are not interested in doing anything about it, supporting the content from creators who give enough of a shit to look into this stuff. Any of that. You know, this video will get less than 100 views, just like all my others do. And won't get shared pretty much at all. I'd love to be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Because people don't actually care. And that's why everything is very likely fucked, and it doesn't matter what I do. And that's why I'm negative, because I'm willing to put in all this time and energy, and I'm basically fucked out of any corporate position anyway. This is my job. So if you want to support this, hit like, share, subscribe, whatever. You know? Mostly, though, learn this enough that you can talk about it on the street. Don't parrot me. Research what I'm saying. I might be full of shit. I don't think I am, but feel free to research what I say. Feel free to learn enough about what I say that you know more about it than I do, and tell people fearlessly. Don't be afraid of the censors in your own personal life who are going to tell you not to discuss religion or politics. Fuck those hacks. They just don't want to be uncomfortable, and they're willing to watch people die while they sink into their sofa. Don't let that kind of sloth and stagnation stop you from doing what you think is right. And learn enough about what's wrong to be able to tell the difference. Make messages like I'm saying matter. Because without all of you, I'm fucking worthless. And so is anybody else who tells the truth. Because there are going to be continued victims, continued abuse at ever greater levels. Because people who could have done something about it would rather tune out. My petition trying to tell Twitter that either they shouldn't have kids on the platform or they should ban pedos is over 2 years old now. Next year it'll be 3. And it probably still won't have been acted upon. Despite new leadership, it's meet this new boss, same as the old boss. Right? Because it's not new leadership, it's all the same people who are behind all of this. The people in charge of these companies are always going to be fundamentally at their behest, because unless they are willing to use these platforms as the censorious platforms for the mainstream opinions, the narrow field of acceptable views, they'll get shut down too. Everybody's between too many rocks and too many hard places, and nobody's willing to make sand. Well, I'm proud to be abrasive, and I'm proud to make people upset, and I'm proud to be loud, and I'm going to continue to do all of that. No matter how many people I piss off, no matter how many people try to excommunicate me from whatever circles, no matter how many people try to tell people not to tune in, not to read my content, and even avoid anybody in my circles, I will not bend. Because I am making a fucking desert of sand out of you motherfuckers. And I will never stop until we smash the fucking state.